All right, let's talk batteries. So this Thor Sanctuary has multiple batteries. It's got a battery for the engine and for the Mercedes part of the chassis. That is really no maintenance, nothing to know there. The camper portion has its own batteries. The Thors come with 400 amp hours of battery from the factory. I upgraded this thanks to ABC Marketing and Outfitters in Indiana. Doubled that to 800 amp hours of batteries. So we have a lot of battery capacity compared to most campers, but you still do have to be conscious of it and be aware of it. If you're not going to be driving the van for multiple days, if you aren't able to plug in anywhere for a couple days or run a generator, a portable generator, which I will do in another video, there are best practices that will help you last and maintain. I can easily go 3-4 days without any type of charge if I'm not running the AC all the time. Anytime you run the engine, it will be charging the batteries. Anytime you're plugged in, it will charge the batteries. The whole main battery interface where you can monitor your usage is located right here. This is the master volt display, and this will tell you everything you want to know and then some. Right there it says house battery charge. We got a pretty good glare. Is at 85%. I have been using some accessories and powering some things. You can see I'm drawing 4 amps right now. But at this rate, I've got the fridge on, I've got some other things on. At this rate, I will last 5 days in 3 hours, which is pretty fantastic. And you'll have house battery there. There's not a lot you should have to do with this other than you maybe want to keep an eye on that house battery. I like to, if I'm going to run the air conditioning at night, I like to make sure that I top the batteries off before going to bed. And then if you just slide over like I did, there is another screen that has one useful thing on it. That is Combi Master. That is your inverter. What that is doing is taking your 12 volt battery, car battery, and turning it into 110 power for these outlets. So just like your house, if that Combi Master is on, this outlet you can plug anything into, even if the van is not plugged in to a campground or anything. If you toggle this off, Combi Master is off, and you plug something into this outlet, it's not going to work. So if the outlets aren't working, check that. There is a couple main components that you will need this Combi Master on for. As we discussed, the 110 outlets, the air conditioning, and the microwave. You might have noticed when I toggled this off and then toggled it back on, you hear a beep. That's the air condition, or I'm sorry, that's the microwave kicking back in. The refrigerator will work whether that is on or off. The refrigerator does not have anything to do with that. For the most part, you can just leave this Combi Master on all the time while you are camping. The only reason I shut it off is because even when you're not using it, it does draw a couple amps. So it will slowly run your battery down. But if you're driving every day or moving or charging the batteries up, you don't have to worry about the power loss from leaving the Combi Master on unused. But more so, the reason I shut it off is, let's go back. That's really all your main controls. This is a battery switch. You should never have to touch that, but if for some reason you want to shut everything off in the back of the camper, this would do that. There's no reason for you to do that. That's more if, like, you're putting the van in storage or not going to be around it for a few days or a few weeks. I'm going to go to the back doors where the batteries are located. You shouldn't have to do anything back here, but this is where the batteries are located. The reason I'm back here is because I was telling you why I might shut that Combi Master off. It is located right here. That's it behind this grate, and that is the bed above it. There is a small computer type fan that runs. If you're very sensitive sleeper or something, you might hear that kick on or off. Doesn't bother me, but if you shut that off, you won't have this box in here generating heat or making a little bit of noise at night. Most people would probably not notice it, but I just like to make you aware. If you didn't need, again, the air conditioner and microwave or the house outlets at night, you can shut that Combi Master off. Otherwise, I would just leave it on. Since we're back here, there shouldn't be anything you have to do. However, if we end up troubleshooting, I may have you come back here. I took this, shortly after purchase, I took this into ABC Outfitters and had the second battery installed. So I have 2 there as opposed to the factory 1. And the system has been working flawless ever since. ABC found some issues, corrected them for me. I've found a few issues and corrected them. Everything in this van has been running non-stop for the last 2 months without any issues. So there's shouldn't be anything you have to do back here. If there is, if I do have you check something, this is where it'll be. So, best practices for boondocking. If you're not plugged in and you're not moving, there is solar on top. What people get wrong is the capacity of solar these days. While solar is great, you cannot run the air conditioners and plug a bunch of things in and expect the batteries to keep up. There's just simply not enough room on top of the van to do that. What the solar will do is top off your battery if you're not using the air conditioner. I do leave the refrigerator running non-stop 24/7, and I don't ever plug the van in when I'm here at home, things like that. The solar will, I consider the solar powerful enough just to run that air, or not the air conditioner, I'm sorry, just to run that refrigerator non-stop. So I do really like having the solar so that I don't have to empty my fridge all the time. If it's hot, I do spend some time in Florida. Again, if I want to run the air conditioner at night, I want to go to bed with the battery at 100%. So if I'm driving before I go camping, or even if I have the opportunity, I will go for a drive before bed so that the engine is topping off the house battery. And while I'm driving, I'm going to run the air conditioner hard, and I'm also going to run the cab Mercedes air conditioner to try and cool off the inside of the van, so that when the engines are shut off and I'm parked, the batteries aren't working to cool the interior off. They're already cool. The batteries will last a lot longer if they're not trying to cool the air. If they're just trying to maintain cool air, you'll burn a lot less battery. So we will go on. I'll do another video on the air conditioner with some more best practices of that. But this is basically your camper battery system. And I just wanted to kind of show you where everything was and get you a little bit familiar with. Obviously, key things: house battery, slide over, turn the Combi Master on off. That's the only thing in general you will have to do here. I do tend to watch this constantly, and just to make sure the batteries aren't doing anything funky. Make sure they're 80% or all above all the time. I rarely get below 80%, just because I do know how to be a little conservative with the power and best practices.